Hello everyone, Yom Tov. It's Hedda here, and I'm sorry it's so late today with your Wednesday folk tales, but it's been Yom Kippur, and Yom Kippur ended at sundown, so there's been a lot to do, and I've got behind with everything, as these things happen. So I am sorry for the late hour with regard to your folk tales, but I'm here at last. Now, I've had several requests for the two stories that you're going to hear tonight. I've been asked to read Brer Rabbit by Daphne. Hi, Daphne. Hi, how you doing? Green nails. Everything's green. Felt like green today. And that was also backed up by our Ria Snakespeare. Hi, Ria. And Candice, I believe, as well. So, hi, Candice. And Jason. Hi, Jason. To be honest with you, the other people who have mentioned that they wanted me to read Brer Rabbit, I am so sorry, that I've forgotten who it is. But listen, love you all, and I'm going to read it for you today. Now, there was just one thing that I wanted to point out, a couple of things really, about Brer Rabbit. I do remember these stories, but we're talking 50 plus years ago when they were read to me when I was in school. I do remember the teacher that read them out to me had a very strong Scottish accent, so there was nothing in that about the southern states. We weren't taught about slavery then. Uncle Remus was just a man who knew this rabbit called Brer Rabbit. We learned the word Brer meant brother. And Uncle Remus was just this nice old gentleman who told stories. But what I wanted to point out is that when I looked at the original by the author, oh Lord, this is insulting because, the versions I'm reading are by S.E. Schlosser. But the original author obviously had everything written in the vernacular, in the accent of the people who lived in the south, the southern accent, and especially among the slaves. So, and obviously freed slaves. So, excuse me. And when I looked at the original text, if I'd tried even to attempt to have read it that way, I personally feel that would have been a gross insult to people of colour, because I don't have that right to do that. It's very much like something that I've learned about in the last couple of years called doing blackface. The nearest thing I can come up to with that is in Britain back in the I think it was the 60s and 70s, we had a show called the Black and White Minstrel Show, and it was male and female singers. They would do show tunes and things like that. The men were all white. They had their faces blacked up. They wore tight, curly black wigs. But being a child, I just thought it was a show where men and women did singing and dancing. Obviously, I didn't take in the bigger picture at the time. Obviously, nothing like that now would be tolerated. I hope that we're now living in an entirely different world. So what I wanted to explain to you is that I found this other author called S.E. Schlosser. I believe it's a lady, who reads it out in relatively easy English and not in the southern terms or the southern twang and what have you back in the day when these stories were originally written. I'm sure I believe the original author was called Joel. His name will come back to me. I really am sorry for not remembering his name. It's been a very long day, guys. Yom Kippur is the longest day in the Jewish calendar, and as you can tell, I'm knackered. But it is what it is. So what I'm going to do tonight, because these aren't particularly long stories, I have found you Brer Rabbit and the Tar Baby, but I also found another story called Brer Rabbit Earns $1 a minute. So I thought I'd start with that one and then finish you off with Brer Rabbit and the Tar Baby. I believe that one Daphne told me that's the most famous story of the lot. So I thought I'd end with that one and begin with maybe a slightly lesser known one. Because I'd certainly not read this one before. The Tar Baby came back to me, but I certainly hadn't heard this one. So I'm going to start with that. So please sit back, relax, and I really do hope you enjoy Brer Rabbit Earns $1 a minute. And I really do hope you enjoy it. Brer Rabbit Earns $1 a minute, a Georgia folk tale retold by S.E. Schlosser. One fine morning, Brer Fox decided to plant him a patch of goober peas. He set to with a will, and before you know it, he'd raked and hoed a beautiful patch of ground, and he put in a fine planting of peas. It didn't take too long before those goober vines grew tall and long, and the peas ripened up good and smart. Now, Brer Rabbit, he'd watched Brer Fox planting the goobers, and he told his children and Miss Rabbit where they could find the patch. Soon as those peas were ripe, the little rabbits and Brer Rabbit would sneak on in and grab up them goobers by the handfuls. It got so bad that when Brer Fox came to the goober patch, he could hardly find a pea to call his own. Well, Brer Fox, he was plenty mad that he'd worked so hard on those peas, only to have them eaten by someone else. I know the feeling. He suspected that Brer Rabbit was to blame for this, but the rascally rabbit had covered his tracks so well that Brer Fox couldn't catch him. So Brer Fox came up with a plan. He found a smooth spot in his fence where a cunning rabbit could sneak in, and he set a trap for Brer Rabbit right on that spot. He tied a rope to a nearby hickory sapling and bent it nearly double. Then he took the other end of the rope and made a loop knot that he fastened with a trigger right around the hole in the fence. So if anyone came through the crack to steal his peas, the knot would tighten around their body, the sapling would spring upright, and they would be left hanging from the tree for everyone to see. Well, the next morning, Brer Rabbit came a-slipping through the hole in the fence. At once the trigger sprung, the knot tightened on his forelegs, and the hickory tree snapped upright. Quick as you please. Brer Rabbit found himself swung aloft betwixt the heaven and the earth, swinging from the hickory sapling and back again. He couldn't go up and he couldn't go down. He just went back and forth, back and forth. Brer Rabbit was in a fix, no mistake. He was trying to come up with some glib explanation for Brer Fox when he heard someone a-rumbling and a-bumbling along the road. It was Brer Bear, looking for a bee tree so he could get him some honey. Soon as Brer Rabbit saw Brer Bear, he came up with a plan to set himself free. "Howdy, Brer Bear," he called cheerfully. Brer Bear squinted round here and there, wondering where the voice had come from. Then he looked up and he saw Brer Rabbit swinging from the sapling. "Howdy, Brer Rabbit," he rumbled. "How are you this morning?" "Middling, Brer Bear," Rabbit replied. "Just middling." Brer Bear was wondering why Brer Rabbit was up in the tree, so he asked him about it. Brer Rabbit grinned and said that he was earning $1 a minute from Brer Fox. "$1 a minute?" Brer Bear exclaimed. "What for?" "I'm keeping the crows away from his goober patch," Brer Rabbit explained, and went on to say that Brer Fox was paying $1 a minute to whomever would act as a scarecrow for him. Well, Brer Bear liked the sound of that. He had a big family to feed. He could use the money. So when Brer Rabbit asked him if he would like to have the job, Brer Bear agreed. Brer Rabbit showed him how to bend the sapling down and remove the knot from his forepaws. When Brer Rabbit was free, Brer Bear climbed into the knot, and soon he was hanging aloft betwixt heaven and earth, swinging to and from the sapling and growling at the birds to keep them away from the goober patch. Brer Rabbit laughed and laughed at the sight of Brer Bear up on the sapling. He scampered down the road to Brer Fox's place and told him that his trap was sprung and the goober thief was hanging from the hickory tree. Brer Fox grabbed his walking stick and ran down the road after Brer Rabbit. When he saw Brer Bear hanging there, Brer Fox called him a goober thief. Brer Fox ranted and he raved and he threatened to hit Brer Bear with his walking stick. He yelled so loud that Brer Bear didn't have time to explain anything. Brer Rabbit knew that Brer Bear would be plenty mad at him when he found out he'd been tricked. So he ran down the road and hid in the mud beside the pond, so that only his eyeballs stuck out, making him look like an old bullfrog. By and by, a very grumpy Brer Bear came lumbering down the road. "Howdy, Brer Bullfrog," Brer Bear said when he saw Brer Rabbit's eyes sticking out the mud. "You seen Brer Rabbit anywhere?" "Brer Rabbit just ran on down the road," he told the grumpy Brer Bear in a deep croaking voice. Brer Rabbit just ran on down the road, he told the grumpy Brer Bear in a deep croaking voice that sounded just like the voice of a frog. Brer Bear thanked him and trotted down the road, growling fiercely. "Ribbit, ribbit, he's gone down the road, ribbit, ribbit." Sorry, that's the best frog I can do. I've never been able to do frogs, or any other animal really for that matter. Woof, meow, neigh, bear. Anyway, that's Brer Sheep, Brer Goat, Brer Dog and Brer Cat for you. And that's Brer Goldfish. Right. When Brer Bear was out of sight, Brer Rabbit jumped out the mud. He washed himself off in the pond and then scampered home, chuckling to himself at how he'd escaped from Brer Fox and Brer Bear, and already thinking up of a new way to get into Brer Fox's goober patch to get him some peas to eat. So it's true what they said about the character of Brer Rabbit. He's a trickster, and he's always in trouble, but he always finds a way to get himself out of that trouble and put it onto somebody else's shoulders. I'm sure we've known plenty of people like that, but that's just animal nature and human nature, but it's basically human nature, because you can't dictate what a rabbit does. I know we had 2 rabbits years ago, and all they ever did was eat through wires and plop everywhere. And they looked an awful lot like these Nesquik little chocolate bite cereal. And I honestly thought that the kids were throwing cereal on the floor. I never tested one to see. I just swept them up, put them in the bin. Didn't realise it was rabbit plop everywhere. I don't know. Anyway, that's that story. So, I'm now going to move on to your second story, the much awaited Brer Rabbit and the Tar Baby. And I guess I remembered this one from being a little girl. But obviously I can read it now with the benefit of hindsight and the knowledge I've gained since then. And we'll take it as it is that it's sorry, I'm a bit sore today. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're still sitting comfortably, because I will begin Brer Rabbit and the Tar Baby, a Georgia folk tale retold by S.E. Schlosser. And I hope you enjoyed this one too. Well now, that rascal Brer Fox hated Brer Rabbit on account of he was always cutting capers and bossing everyone around. So Brer Fox decided to capture and kill Brer Rabbit if it was the last thing he ever did. Oh, it's a bit drastic, isn't it? You know, tricksters might want to slap around the face, but they don't deserve to get killed. Anyway, he thought and he thought until he came up with a plan. He would make a tar baby. Brer Fox went and got some tar, and he mixed it with some turpentine, and he sculpted it into the figure of a cute little baby. Then he stuck a hat on the tar baby and sat her in the middle of the road. Brer Fox hid himself in the bushes near the road, and he waited for Brer Rabbit to come along. Well, at long last, he heard someone whistling and chuckling to himself, and he knew that Brer Rabbit was coming up over the hill. Soon as he reached the top, Brer Rabbit spotted the cute little tar baby. Brer Rabbit was surprised. He stopped and stared at this strange creature. He'd never seen anything like it before. "Good morning," said Brer Rabbit, doffing his hat. "Nice weather we're having." The tar baby said nothing. Brer Rabbit laid low and grinned an evil grin. I'm just presuming that's what it looks like. Sorry. Brer Rabbit tried again. "And how are you feeling this fine day?" The tar baby, she said nothing. Brer Fox grinned an evil grin, and he lay low in the bushes. Brer Rabbit frowned. The strange creature wasn't very polite. It was beginning to make him mad. "Ahem," said Brer Rabbit loudly, wondering if the tar baby were deaf. "I said, how are you this morning?" The tar baby said nothing. Brer Fox curled up into a ball to hide his laughter. His plan was working perfectly. "Are you deaf or are you just rude?" demanded Brer Rabbit, losing his temper. "I can't stand folks that are stuck up. You take off that hat and you say howdy do, or I'm going to give you such a licking." Well, the tar baby just sat in the middle of the road, looking as cute as a button and saying nothing at all. Brer Fox rolled over and under the bushes, fit to bust because he didn't dare laugh out loud. "I'll learn you," Brer Rabbit yelled. He took a swing at the cute little tar baby, and his paw got stuck in the tar. "Let me go or I'll hit you again," shouted Brer Rabbit. Tar Baby, she said nothing. "Fine, be that way," said Brer Rabbit, swinging at the Tar Baby with his free paw. Now both his paws were stuck in the Tar Baby, and Brer Fox danced with glee behind the bushes. "I'm gonna kick the stuffing out of you," Brer Rabbit said, and he pounced on the Tar Baby with both feet. They sank deep into the Tar Baby. Brer Rabbit was so furious, he head-butted the cute little creature until he was completely covered with tar and unable to move. Brer Fox leapt out of the bushes and strolled over to Brer Rabbit. "Well, well, well, what have we got here?" And he asked him, grinning an evil grin. Brer Rabbit gulped. He was stuck fast. He did some fast thinking while Brer Fox rolled about the road, laughing himself sick over Brer Rabbit's dilemma. "I got you this time, Brer Rabbit," said Brer Fox, jumping up and shaking off the dust. "You've sassed me for the very last time. Now I wonder, what should I do with you?" Brer Rabbit's eyes got very large. "Oh, please, Brer Fox, whatever you do, please don't throw me into the briar patch." "Maybe I should roast you over a fire and eat you," mused Brer Fox. "No, that's too much trouble. Oh, maybe I'll hang you instead." "Roast me, hang me, do whatever you please," said Brer Rabbit. "Only please, Brer Fox, please don't throw me into the briar patch." If I'm going to hang you, I'll need some string," said Brer Fox. "And I don't have any string handy. But the stream's not far away, so maybe I'll drown you instead." "Drown me, roast me, hang me, do whatever you please," said Brer Rabbit. "Only please, Brer Fox, please don't throw me in the briar patch." "The briar patch, eh?" said Brer Fox. "What a wonderful idea. You'll be torn into pieces." Grabbing up the tar-covered rabbit, Brer Fox swung him around and around and around, and then he flung him head over heels into the briar patch. Brer Rabbit let out such a scream that he fell all over into the briar patch, and he was screaming so loud Brer Fox's fur stood straight up. Well, Brer Rabbit was rolling about in the briar patch with such a crash and a mighty thump, and then there was silence. Brer Fox cocked one ear towards the briar patch, listening for whimpers of pain, but he heard nothing. Brer Fox cocked the other ear towards the briar patch, listening for Brer Rabbit's death rattle, but he heard nothing. Then Brer Fox heard someone calling his name. He turned around and looked up the hill. Brer Rabbit was sitting on a log, combing the tar out of his fur with a wood chip and looking smug. "I was bred and born in the briar patch, Brer Fox," he called. "Born and bred in the briar patch. Ha 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 ha." And Brer Rabbit skipped away as merry as a cricket, while Brer Fox ground his teeth in a rage and went home. And that was the tale of Brer Rabbit and the Tar Baby. I found a few more Brer Rabbit stories, and then there's other stories with other characters from the Brer Rabbit stories that may not have Brer Rabbit in them, but it'll be a story about Brer Bear or Brer Fox or something about those things. So if you ever wanted me to read any more of Brer Rabbit or the associated stories, just please let me know, and I will sort that out for you. Now, next Wednesday's Folktales is, like I told you on Monday, it's a requested birthday video by Claire for her mum Mary. It's going to be Mary's birthday on the Monday, I believe, the 14th, but obviously I can't do Folktales. It wouldn't be Wednesday, it'd be Monday. So Mary's quite happy to have her video on the Wednesday. So it's going to be the Little Match Girl. And so I'm going to sort that out for Mary. I hope all of you would love to hear the story of the Little Match Girl. That's another story that I haven't read since I was a very little girl. So that may take up the full half hour, but we'll see. I won't shortchange you. I'll sort something out. This coming Monday, something that I said in Monday's video about listening to music, and I think it was, oh Lord, I can't remember who it was who mentioned it. Might have been Aria, might have been Jason, could be Candace, Daphne, Kate, any one of you might have said, do your top 20. And then Ria said something about, well, you might find that too restricting. You might have the top 20 classical, you might have top 20 rock, and what have you. And that's very, very true. But we've only got half an hour to talk about things. So I think I'll try and keep it to a sort of a universal top 20 music list. I'll try and keep it to 20. But I would like you guys to make up your own lists, and then let's share them with each other, because music is a wonderful therapy when you're feeling low. Music has saved my sanity at certain points in my life when I felt very, very low, and then I've just felt pulled to playing a particular song, and it's helped me. And there's been so many instances of that I actually do think that the universe has done it to help me. And I'm sure a lot of you have got similar experiences. So would you please, all of you, that's your homework for Monday, would you please make up your own top 20 music lists? And then you can put them in the comments, and we can all go through each other's music choices. And I think that will be a wonderful exercise to do with each other, is to talk about our favourite music. So that's what your homework is for next Monday. Then we've got next Friday, the dedicated birthday. This Friday is definitely the penultimate Serba story. So next Friday is the final episode of Serba, until the author writes some more. So it's going to be quite sad, really. But I'm hoping he or she will write some more, and then I can bring them to you. And then it'll be after that we start our tribute to supernatural type stories. Will be from the week onwards after that. And I've found a couple of nice ghost stories from the southern states that I think I'll run past you for the Paranormal Crew this coming Friday. So that's it, my friends. We've come to the end of another Wednesday Folktales. I want to thank you very, very much for being here. Thank you for suggesting these stories, guys. It's been a real trip down memory lane. thank you all for watching. I really do hope you've enjoyed the sweet stories. Let me know what you think of them down in the comments, and we'll have a good old chat about it. I must admit, I'm going to need a cup of tea first, I think. And just, chill after what's been a very long day. Oh, I don't know what we put ourselves through for spiritual growth, eh? I don't know, I think I'm beyond redemption. Definitely. I think a lot of people would agree with that. I'm definitely beyond redemption. Right, I love you all. And I will see the Paranormal Crew on Friday. And hopefully I'll see the rest of you on Monday. So, take care. Bye-bye for now.